Hey guys, how's it going? I'm the Blank here, and today I am making a little Python workshop. Hopefully this won't be too boring to watch, but yeah. Today we're going to be using discord.py to make a small little bot, mainly a solve function bot, and it will solely be for reminding people, but it'll give the basics into Python and discord.py. So we're going to start off by making a project. I'm using PyCharm, but you can use whatever you wish. Make sure you're using Python 3.6 or above, because we'll be using what's known as typing or type hinting. Now that your virtual environment is set up in PyCharm, we're going to make a quick folder in our project. See, it auto creates the env file. We're just going to create a directory, and we're going to name this content, and this will be used later on. We're also gonna make a JSON file. We're gonna label this, let's name it config.json. Right, and in this JSON file, we're just gonna simply add two fields: user and token. Now, if you want, you could add debug user in here, but it doesn't really matter. So to go into our user folder, if we drag over our Discord, this little quick Discord that I threw together, if you enable developer mode, we're going to copy the ID of us, right? And we're going to stick that into our user field. As for token, you're going to want to get an actual Discord account and create a bot. So we've named our bot reminder test bot, and now we're going to add user. Now we're going to want to copy our token. Now the token that you will see here on stream is no longer active. I've disabled it as of the time of recording, but you want to keep your token safe, because the hazards of exposing your token is too much. I learned that the hard way. Now, wrong button. So we're going to want to make a Python file here, and I'm going to call it bot.py. This is going to be our main Python class. I'm going to want to also open up our terminal. If it's not clear, I am on Linux. However, you can follow this along in Windows. I'm sure there'll be very little difference. So Python -m for module pip install Discord, and it's going to install our discord.py library. This will allow us to run Discord. Yeah. So we're going to want to import Discord. Cool. And since this is our main library, we're going to want to add if under our main Python class, sorry, if name equals main. And this just says if the Python class we're running is the main Python class, is the one being, it's the parent, do this stuff. Okay, turns out I had not installed it. How silly of me. Or I haven't installed it correctly, so just uninstall and reinstall if that issue happens. So next we're gonna do client equals discord.client, and that itself should run. Client.run. Now we have, this is where our token comes in. We've got it in a JSON file, but we have to parse our JSON. Alright, so here's where it becomes fun. So we're going to type JSON data token, because that's the name we use in the field. JSON data equals JSON loader. Now we make a new function or definition, call it JSON loader. Now here's where it gets fun. If you want to automate this to run at a certain time, especially with CRON on Linux, the actual working directory isn't where the folder is, it's actually the home directory of the user running it. So if you run it as root, it'll be /root. If you're running it as myself, it'll be my home directory. So that's something you have to keep in mind here. And we do this by saying with open. We're going to need to utilize from os.path import dir name. We're going to also want to import apps path. So dir name will get the directory that is used for a file, and apps path will get the absolute path of our file. So with dir name apps path __ file, this is the file that's running. So if you're running Windows, you'll need 2 backslashes. If you're running Linux, it's just 1 / config.json as JSON. We forgot to add a plus. And is everything closed off? I think it is, yeah. Perfect. So next thing is we need to load this JSON, and we need to import the JSON class. JSON.loads. Loads or load JSON. Equals return JSON_data. That's highlighted like there's an issue, of course. So this load, if we're loading it from a file, JSON. We're just going to rename this as a capital J. That'll fix the little issue we were having there. Cool, now we can clean this up a little bit by using some type hinting. So this right here is what's known as a dict or dictionary. This bit here says we're going to return a dictionary. And this bit here tells us where this will be a dictionary. This is all for readability of the end user, for the end user. You can also add it here, but it's kind of irrelevant. So now with this, we can totally 100% load our bot, or at least we should be able to, and we can test that right now. Actually, let's make it clear first by adding at client.event async def on_ready. I just want to print loaded. This will print loaded when our Discord bot has loaded, of course. With using async, we're going to want to import async IO. This is a built-in module or pre-packaged module with Python. So to run this, we're going to want to run python bot.py or whatever you have named your Python class. And it is missing one thing, as because we forgot to add that. No, it doesn't take that, does it? No, it doesn't even take. Yeah. So run it again, and it'll try to make a connection now. And there we go, it says it's loaded. So we kill it. Cool. Now on ready, we actually want to run our function that will send the message. We're going to call it send reminder. And after that, we want to close the connection. Because the whole idea of this is going to be to automate it, we want to have as little connection with the bot, as little contact with the bot as possible, and it'll be running itself. So because this is an async definition, we need to use other async definitions inside of it, which is why we've had to async our reminder. Right. And here's where it gets interesting. So now we're going to be sending a DM to our intended user, which in our case will be ourselves, or in my case at least it'll be myself. And now what we're going to want to do is we'll send a test DM to ourselves. And to do that, we want to set our channel, which will be a discord.dm channel. This again is for ourselves, equals client.get user JSON data and user, which is the name we gave it, dot DM channel. No, it's underscores, isn't it? Aha! Of course, we need to declare definition that fixes all of our issues. Anyway, channel.send and the content is equal to test. What this will do is it will send a message to our intended user, ourselves, and well, it won't yet, because there's one big issue with this server, and that is we don't have our bot in it, and we don't share a server with our bot. So I'm going to bring back this page. What we're wanting to do here now is go to OAuth 2, pick bot as our scope, and we don't need to give it any permissions. We just wanted to share the server with our user. Okay, small hiccup aside, since I'm using a dummy account to use this, because I've many servers and many DMs open which I don't want to share, I didn't attach an email to it, so use one that you have an email to, otherwise you won't be able to add anything to your server. So I've just unfiled my main account over to this server, and yeah, so just connect it to your server, invite it through the OAuth 2 link that we got, do a small captcha check, and don't click out of it. And now it's in our server. Great. So as we can see now, it's in our server. It's got its little bot tag. So next thing we want to do is run our command. Let's come online, and this I was actually expecting. We need to make sure that there is a DM channel, and the way we do this, right, is if client.get underscore user JSON data user dot DM underscore channel. If not, we want to client.get underscore user JSON data user dot create underscore DM. I think that's right. Actually, no, on further thought, this is all lowercase. And because we're working with Discord, we need to await it. Let's run it again. And now if you hear that, we've after receiving a DM. And it is of course from our bot saying test. That's great now. So what we want to do now is I'm just gonna grab a file and I'm gonna put it into our content. Sim for BIMP. Oh yeah. And now we're gonna remove this. We're done with that. Cool. So now we want, this is where we need from OS import lister, and we want from random import choice. And all this is going to do is this is going to allow us to it's going to make it run faster because we're only importing stuff we need rather than everything. So content equals lister choice, lister, and our lister takes a path, and our path is going to be their name, abs path, underscore underscore file, plus / content. So, what's this gonna do? Well, this is gonna set the content, our variable here content, to a file in our content folder. Now actually in our content folder we will add another file, sample.txt, and according to all known laws of aviation, lorem ipsum of the shipposting community. So what this is going to do is going to then set it to either sample or sim for bimp. Okay. And we're going to actually set here image underscore file types. Right, and that's going to be equal to a list. We want BMP, PNG. I suppose we could set BMP, GIF, JPEG, and JPEG. So, before we do anything further, let's see what content is. Alright. Okay, so as we can see here, content simply returns the file name. We actually, now that I think about it, should probably change this bit. Since it's returning a string, we can add their name, abs path, underscore file, underscore plus / content plus. And now if we print content, we will get the absolute path of our file. And this will solve many issues further down the line. Yeah, this solves many issues further down the line. So, next part. If, I like to use parentheses here, even though they're not needed. If image underscore file type in content. This is looking for a substring and a string. And really what we should be doing realistically is using rs.split, or split. And what or split is, if we get content dot or split, now we want to separate it by dot, and say we only want to split once. So what this will do, right? If we have a file called a.b.c.d, since it's reverse splitting it, which is what the or in or split stands for, we will have d and a plus b plus c, because we've set a max split of 1. If we set a max split of 2, it'll be c, a plus b, and so on and so forth. If we leave it out, it'll be all split. So I don't know why I went to print that. So if image underscore file type in content.orsplit actually, yeah, no, it gives a better idea as to what orsplit looks like if we print it. So for the explanation, if we actually run this, we'll see what orsplit returns. As you can see, orsplit has returned 2 strings. Cool. So now that we've seen what orsplit can return, let's finally check our file type. So this is checking our second variable for file type. Now, if it is an image, we're going to want to await channel.send file equals. Now we're going to go back up to our imports. Discord has a very special way of sending files. They have their own kind of declaration for a file, and we're going to need to set that. So file equals file, and since we used content, we can pass in content. And like that, it's simple. This will send an image file, so we might need to run it a few times, but oh yes, that's a very interesting error. Okay, so because we can't compare a list to a list, what we're gonna have to actually do here is say file type equals content.orsplit, and if image file type in file type, which now is string. Actually, let's finish building this before we do anything else. Else, with open content as f, await channel.send content equals f.read. This will read in our file and send it. So very simply, we've very quickly set up a quick DMing system. If we run it, you'll notice we of course, yeah, cool. So what we've done wrong there, actually, and it's a very, very stupid mistake. So we can actually bring this back up. I actually had my in statement in reverse. In image underscore file type. Our string, if we actually read our error message, the string needs to be on the left and our list on the right. On the left, on the right. Camera's flipped. I swear I did that right on my end. So if we run it again, there's our Discord message, and I don't know what we got. I am afraid. Okay, it's the B-movie script, the lore nipsum of the shipposting world. And now we can run that again. And there's our BIMP. As I said, we are simp for the BIMP. Like that, it's so simple that we took all of... The recording says 45 minutes, but I was doing stuff in the meantime. And look at that, it's used very little. Now, we can clean this up. We can make it easier to read for our end user. Content will be a string. If we just add type hinting, type hinting goes a long way. This doesn't return anything. A little bit of type hinting never hurt anyone. Now, of course, this doesn't account for... Why stop there? We can send WebMs, send MP4, MP3, not MP5s, that's illegal. Yeah, there's no reason why we can't just add all the media file types would be a better name here instead of image. But yeah, no, we can send WebMs, we can send whatever we want. The mine's the limit here. Yeah. Really it. Play around with it yourself. If you could do a better job, great. If you could think of ways to streamline this, even better. You could probably add a boolean to our config.json, but that's still doing the same thing here, except it might be slightly quicker. You could always say remove the parentheses, but no, I like them. It makes them easier to read for myself. Yeah. Okay, now to show you how to make a requirements.txt, which will help a user use your thing, bot, because you might have installed some modules, some obscure modules that they might not have. And doing this is very simple to make requirements.txt. Python -m pip freeze, and we're gonna write it to requirements.txt. Again, this is for Linux. So if we cache requirements.txt, we see we do indeed have some new files. So a user, when if they were to get your GitHub repo, they would simply just go into your GitHub, the folder from the git clone, and type pip install taco or requirements.txt. Super easy to do, and it takes all of a few minutes to set up. And now we SSH over into a Raspberry Pi we have on our network. We're going to set up a cron job. So in the meantime, I have transferred over our Discord bot. As you can see, All of the content is still there. And we've off camera installed our requirements.txt. So setting up a cron job is very easy. So we're going to want to type cron tab -e. Now this is using, I use this for a PS2 on the network, which is why all of this stuff's here, but yours is going to be blank when you load it up. So cron takes in 5 numbers here. Minutes, hours, days, weeks, months. Minutes, of course, being 160 or 0 to 60 or 0 to 50. Now I'm not sure. Hours 1 to 24. It's a 24-hour clock, or 0 to 24, I think. Days 1 to 31. Weeks 1 to 52 or 1 to 4. I don't really use the weeks variable. And months. Asterisk means all. Next, we're going to want to set the path to our Python. For me, it's user local bin Python 3.8 on Linux. Could be in user bin. Yeah, just check for yourself. Since I'm on the Pi, the user is Pi. /bot.py. And we're going to want output to output.txt or out.txt. And to make it more rapid, this will make it run every minute. So this will make it run every minute. This will make it run on the first minute of every hour. So we want it to run every minute so we can see results. To save it, it's so simple. We just save our file and it automatically does it. So if we bring back our Discord, now we just wait for the time to strike the minute. Then we're going to see our bot come online briefly. Then it will send us our file. So we're coming up to the end of the minute now, should be here any second. Nearly there. And there we go, we've got our image. And now ideally you'd have helpful reminders in here, but this is more just a proof of concept, so to say. But thanks for watching. If you liked this video, let me know. Leave a comment or check out my Buy Me a Coffee page. The link is in the description below. So do check it out. Subscribe if you want more, and tell me what you want, and I'll try and do it. But thanks for watching.